Welcome, everyone. Today we have Rodrigo Diaz Mercado with us, and he is an international best-selling author and speaker. And we are here to talk about overwhelm when it comes to social media. So welcome, Rodrigo.
Hola, Milena. How are you?
I'm so good. It's so great to have you here. The other day, Rodrigo and I were talking about just entrepreneurs' hesitance to kind of get online, and once they are online and managing their own social media, they just kind of tend to go into the overwhelm mode. So Rodrigo has a lot of experience with mindset work, so he's here to talk to us about how to actually manage all of that.
Absolutely. I'm very excited. Thank you for having me, and let's get into the topic.
Sounds good. So in your experience, what have you seen is going on with entrepreneurs when it comes time to market their business? And especially at these times, it's 2021. Is there hesitancy? Is there overwhelm? And where does the overwhelm even come from?
I think it's actually an overload, right? We're now looking at so many platforms, and inside each platform, there's so many like stories, reels, like there's so much happening inside even one platform.
Yeah.
So I think the overwhelm comes because there's so much to, where do I start? Is the big question, like, where do I start? So for me, it's a little bit of taking a step back. It's a little bit of taking a step back and actually looking at the bigger picture, your why. Why are you here? So for me, when I do my own social media or even my own projects, I have to always start with my why. Before I sit in front of the computer, before I record, before I write any post copy, start with your why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? And it's not about because I want to make a sale. That's not true. It's because you're here to give and serve. So always that kind of centers me. So that's a little bit of the first tip I wanted to mention.
Okay, so what you're saying and how I'm hearing it is don't think about the sale, right? Because a lot of times people think about the sale and then they get attached to the outcome of whether or not this is going to generate a sale. But it's more about actually focusing on delivering value. So your why is there to deliver the value to the people of like, why should they even listen to you? So it's like your why you're there, but also their why of why they should be even clicking on your post or, why there is value there. Would that be accurate?
Absolutely. I think it's a really good summary of what I said. Absolutely. Yeah. So now let's jump onto the second one. So that first one was absolutely perfect. Mm-hmm. What is your why? It's not about the sale. It's you're here to serve. And the sale is just a secondary thing.
Yeah.
As well, I actually approach all my social media, or all the things I create, like ebooks or workbooks, etc., with Childlike Wonder. So instead of me saying, I have to do this so people see me, I say, I'm going to show up and play. I'm going to show up and play and have fun and build some posts and build a workbook and build an ebook. So it's about playing and Childlike Wonder.
I love that. So bringing that play really takes away from the pressure. So we talked about, not focusing on the sale, but at the same time, a lot of business owners, it really, like, they do have to make money, right? So Absolutely. How do they actually get out of that mindset of, I really need the sale, I have to pay my bills, I have to feed my family, to going into more of a relaxed state and, being able to have the ability to play? Like, how do you physically do that?
So as you mentioned, I'm a mindset, spiritual, and emotional intelligence expert. So what I do is I help people understand how are they acting, or right now they're reacting. Mm-hmm. So what I would suggest to the question that you just proposed is put on a hat, right? People, as an entrepreneur, you have so many hats. You even have family hats, right? But inside your own entrepreneur, small business, you have the hat of the creator. You have to create. You have the hat of the manager. You have to organize your time and pay the bills and organize your banking. And you have the hat of the visionary, the strategic guy. So you got to go out and get the business. So be aware of those three hats. So when you're creating content, when you're doing your ebooks, your workbooks, your videos, put the hat of creation and stay in that playground. I'm not saying like the sale is absolutely important. I get it, right? Like money for me, it's a little bit of that energy that has to go around everyone, right? The sale, the guy that's getting the sale. But what I'm just suggesting right now is stay with your hat of creation. In the hat of creation, you can be playful. You can express yourself. It's your art. It's what you do. Then you can move the hat of the manager. Okay, now how can I get this message out? Who do we need to touch? What do I need to do? And finally, you have the the visionary, the strategic person, which how, who do I need to talk to? Can I create a webinar? So it's about staying with your hat. In this instance, it's the creator, which is playfulness.
Mhm. So when I hear you say that, I'm almost thinking about it backwards, right? So going, because you were talking about, playful, da, 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 and then at the end it's strategic. But I'm almost thinking like, what if you start with strategic, right? And you kind of build out the strategy, figure out the plan, and then kind of work backwards. And then by the time you get to the creation mode, you can then have like allow yourself to play because you've already kind of built the strategy. And then, but you can also try both, right? Like you have to almost play and experiment and see which one works better for you. So maybe try the plan and then work backwards, or start with playing and then build a strategy from, being able to play.
Absolutely. And what you're saying is absolutely true. Because when you're looking at your small business and you're planning, that absolutely needs to happen before you can play, right? You need to protect time to play. You need to protect time to create. So that is the manager, right? Organizing your time, organizing your day, your if you're a parent, right? If you have a couple, like you're organizing your time in all areas of your life. So that's the manager. And the vision is like, what am I going to create? So absolutely, you have to respect, I think, creating buckets of time and then respecting the hat you're putting on each bucket is absolutely will free you, will create more freedom. So when you're actually creating, you're not tense, you're not, I must do this. You're actually putting the hat of fun. But absolutely, you should start with the plan. Like, what am I creating? What's my vision? What am I doing this week? So yeah, it's about playing with the hats and knowing who you are inside of those hats. But they're all fun, by the way. They're all fun. It's just the mindset of what you bring to those hats.
Because the thing is, even when a lot of people think, oh, I have to do this, the reality is you don't really have to. You're choosing to be an entrepreneur because you have the choice of being an entrepreneur or getting a 9 to 5 job. So really it is a choice, because sometimes people forget that and they think this is a must or a have to or whatever. You always have the choice. So when you're empowered with knowing that, it kind of maybe shifts the narrative a little bit.
Absolutely. And I have been in both sides of the coin. I think most of you have too, where I had a 9 to 5 and I felt victim. This is before my author speaker transformation. I felt a victim of, I have to go to work. They own me. And then I realized with some of my mentors that that's not true. I choose to go to work because I prefer it to be there for the paycheck, because maybe I won't be able to handle not having a paycheck. So I prefer to go to work. Same now as small business owner, I prefer to put the time to see what I can build, to understand, to pay for the course, to learn from other people. Like your channel is amazing, by the way. So I like it. But it's amazing to just put yourself out there to learn. So what can I build is always a choice. And as you remember again, mindset, right? You have the energy of ego, of fear, or the energy of love. Energy of ego will make you feel like a victim. So you got to remind yourself, where am I living right now? And if it's the energy of love, then you're the creator. You made the choice, and you can always choose differently, always.
So then when it comes to overwhelm specifically, and let's say you're marketing on Instagram or you're marketing on Facebook, looking at all of the options, right? Because you can do reels, you can do stories, you can do IGTV, it's endless. What I always say to people is start with one social media platform and start with 2 items. So whatever that is, like let's say you just want to do posts and carousels, you just start with those 2. Once you feel like you've mastered them, then maybe the following week or the next 2 weeks, you add on the other ones, right? So you really just choose. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be the right choice, because you won't know what the right choice is for you until you actually start, play, see what the results are, and then tweak it from there. So just kind of take baby steps, small bites, and I think that's possibly the best way to go. What do you think?
You said the key word, play. Start to play. Like humans want to see the 10 steps. Until I see the 10 steps, I'll take step 1. No, just take step 1 and play. And from there, adapt. To your point though, absolutely. The best strategy you can do. And by the way, I also have a marketing background in really big agencies. So what we do in the agency world is we take a look at where is your target market? Your target market is not everywhere, right? So for example, I know that I speak mainly to example, women that are in between their 45s and 60s and they're in Facebook
Mhm.
or WhatsApp. Right now, I'm playing with Facebook and I'm
Mhm.
not playing with stories. I'm not playing with, like, I'm playing with like ads in the feed,
Mhm.
right? So then I'm analyzing my results and maybe tomorrow I'll start playing with something else. But absolutely start with step one. Just pick one. It's like the gym. You go to the gym, do one exercise, and you're perhaps working on biceps. But then you realize then the whole arm has so many muscles, but you realize that after. So pick up one thing and enhance that muscle and realize that once you're strong in that area, go play in a different arena. Absolutely.
Exactly. So let's talk about a specific example. And since we're both authors, let's just use that as an example. So let's say you're an author and you want to start promoting your book. How would you go about doing that? And I'm sure you've already done it. So how would you, to avoid overwhelm specifically, go about marketing your book, let's say on Instagram?
On Instagram. So what I would do is a little bit of a three-stage process. Okay, and this is really healthy in a marketing campaign. So always when you're about to launch something, when you're about to promote something, always think about it in three steps. The first one is you want to create awareness. So at the moment, I'm not telling anyone buy now. So that's the last step, number three. So step number one, I'm always creating awareness, and that is creating some kind of post to say, with quotes, with inspirational quotes, or like I'm excited to show you, or three simple ways to have a miracle morning.
Mhm.
So at the beginning, you're just creating awareness. Then you move people into the second part of a campaign, which is now you're kind of giving them a freebie. You're giving them a taste of your material. If you will love to like get the first chapter of my book, or here is a free ebook, I would love to, like, you just give a little bit from you to them. Then I will invite them to a book launch. So
Mhm.
that's step number three, right? I create an awareness. That's step number one. Step number two, I gave you a little bit of a taste of who I am. And step number three, now I'm going to invite you to come into my world in a book launch or on a course or buy my book. So that
Yeah.
would be the steps that I would suggest the audience to kind of take a step back and see, how can I create awareness, give, and then make a call to action. And maybe think about it: 1 week awareness, 1 week you give, and the last week you create that pull.
Hmm. And that's so good because I really think that takes away the pressure. And again, going back to the overwhelm, and Eben Pagan actually calls it potato chip marketing. And
Mm.
it's an analogy where, I don't know, I think I've talked about it on this channel before, but it's so brilliant because it's about how to get a squirrel to eat a potato chip out of your hand. Like if you're at a park and you're kind of throwing the potato chips, you're not going to automatically get that squirrel to eat out of your hand. But let's say you kind of throw it far away and the squirrel gets comfortable, gets closer, then you keep throwing it closer and closer and closer. And as that squirrel gains trust in you, eventually it'll take it right out of your hand.
We're just planting seeds.
We're just
That's what we're
planting
doing with
seeds.
the audience. We're just
Yes.
planting a seed. And there is a time to create the awareness. There is a time to give and let them get to know you.
Well, how long should they get to know you for? So, for example, maybe some people might think, oh, they can get to know me for a week, but maybe they
Mhm.
need to get to know you for a couple of months. Like, how long should that period of just kind of creating awareness?
I would recommend that to set goals, right? So in this case, we were giving the example of a book, right? Selling a book.
Hmm.
So I would suggest, depending on, and then I am also learning and keep expanding my own awareness on how to use paid advertising. And I'm realizing that it could not be as expensive as I thought it was. So that's really good. So perhaps you could actually put a little bit, like I'm talking about $20 budget to each of the stages that will have a reach. Again, start playing $10 a month, $20 a month. Start playing. And again, it's not about getting overwhelmed, it's about bringing excitement. So I would suggest, think about your goal. If your goal is, let's say right now, I want to launch my book,
Hmm.
then I would really look at that as a campaign. 3 weeks. Week one, awareness. Week two, the giving, a little bit of the teaser. And week
Yeah.
three, buy my book.
Yeah.
And I will analyze, was that successful? And no, we'll try again. Maybe awareness needs 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think that cycle of 3 weeks, because you have a goal, If you didn't have a goal, let's say, if you just want people to get to know you, to get the likes on your channel, to increase the audience and the views, then the campaign is still a little bit of the same. But now perhaps you, like your videos, you're posting every week, you have a lot of content that we can digest. So now the campaign becomes that instead of selling a book, it will be join my channel. And it's always the same. It's always create awareness. I have a channel, and I will give you awesome tips about how to build your business. Number two, in your post, I'm not talking about your post. Here's the best 3 ways you can build your business. And then the third week will be join my channel. Just sign up to my channel for more notifications.
And that is what I do, guys. So as you know, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that right now, because I'm always giving you free content to help you market. And when Rodrigo was talking about a freebie or a way to kind of get to know a person, I do also offer an Instagram content calendar that you can use for either Instagram or you can use it for Facebook. And that, again, is free. And I'm going to leave a link for that below. I'm also going to leave a link for Rodrigo's first chapter of his book, if he's okay with that. Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to leave that in the links below. So make sure you guys check that out. So that way, not only can you benefit from the freebies, but you can also see how that marketing funnel goes and how we go about doing it. Because again, it really is about gaining trust first, right? Before going into any type of offer.
And I do want to leave our audience with something. Remember why you created this, because you wanted to play. You wanted to create and build something. I understand that right now that you're building that business to pay the big bills. I get it. But please bring that energy of love and playfulness, because money won't make you happy, but happiness will make you money. Yeah. Just remember that. Be happy, play, and your business will grow.
Amazing. Thank you so much. All right, guys, for the next marketing training video, I'm going to leave a link right here. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.